So it kind of seems like Scott Peterson's quest for freedom has hit yet another roadblock. Why do I say that? I say that because Peterson, who, as we know, was convicted of killing his wife Lacey and their unborn child back in 2004, was expected to appear in court today for a discovery motion hearing. And his attorneys from the LA Innocence Project had filed a motion with the court asking for evidence that they say could exonerate their client, specifically materials tied to an orange van that was found burned near the couple's Modesto home the day after Lacey disappeared. But then in a surprising move, Peterson's lawyers withdrew that discovery motion, essentially canceling today's appearance in court. Why? That move's surprising because the LA Innocence Project has been working on Peterson's freedom for years. And in court filings, the group has suggested that Lacey may have witnessed a burglary across the street, was kidnapped and killed by the perpetrators as a result. So why withdraw the motion? And it's unclear if Peterson's attorneys plan to refile it, but if they do, I mean, I do wonder if there's going to be a change in strategy from his team. I mean, winning his freedom has always been an uphill battle, yes, but maybe his lawyers, they're doing something else. They're pursuing another tactic aimed at freeing their clients. So what's going on? For a closer look, I want to talk to somebody who knows this case backwards and front. Legendary trial attorney Mark Geragos, who represented Scott Peterson at his trial in 2004. You can catch his podcast, Reasonable Doubt, Two Angry Men. Mark, always good to see you. So what's going on here?
Good to see you too. And in the effort to be fully transparent, I'm not involved with the Innocence Project, although I've signed declarations. And I'm wildly speculating, but sometimes I've seen this movie before. I'm going to guess that as soon as they filed that motion, that the DA's office reached out and either suggested an accommodation, and I can think of one or two, and I'll get to that in a sec, or suggested that the trial court no longer had jurisdiction because of the intervening appeal. If it was the first, where the DA's office suggested some kind of accommodation, I've been arguing since all of this stuff came about in terms of the orange van, that if the prosecution truly believes that they've got the right guy, then why are they fighting this? And I've also said, if they want somebody, if they're worried about the cost and want somebody to foot the bill, I'll foot the bill. I'm saying it right now. I'll foot the bill for retesting. I've got labs that'll test this in a heartbeat. Why would you fight that?
Let me push you back on that. And two things. Let's put the accommodation for aside. One, they could say this is a waste of time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. In 2019, right, it was determined that there was no blood on the mattress cloth in the van, and a judge had ruled that that van was not connected to the Scott Peterson case. I mean, they might say, why are we don't need to spend the time on this.
Well, I don't know how a judge could ever rule, and I would love to see a ruling, although some of these rulings have been inexplicable at the trial court level. A judge could never rule going into it that a van was unrelated until you've done all of the testing, number one. Number two, I don't think that that's what the chemist said. I think the chemist said that in a preliminary test, it was not consistent with. That doesn't mean that you can't extract DNA. Doesn't mean you can't do all kinds of other testing. Remember, the samples that were saved from decades ago, although arguably they would degrade, also at the same time, indisputably, we know that our DNA and scientific testing is light years beyond what it was then. That's number one. Number two, it wasn't the defense that was the ones who were hiding the ball when it came to this van. The defense, my then co-counsel, Pat Harris, was fixated on the idea of a van. I mean, Pat was almost like the Rain Man when it came to talking about the van and the burglary across the street. I mean, to the point where sometimes I told him, just chill out. I can't hear another word about it. And now to find out 20 some odd years later that there was a van when Pat was screaming from the rooftops about a van, and that van was burned, mind you, in the airport district where the dog scent evidence led to. And we were talking about where is the van, and not only did they deep six that information, meaning they did not turn it over to the defense, but they've been sitting on that for 20 years while somebody is in custody and now fighting tooth and nail not to have it tested. That's what it's inexplicable to me. If you believe, seriously believe, he's good for this crime, why wouldn't you want to just shut up the defense?
Let me ask you this. You go back, you said an accommodation. You mean like an accommodation for him in prison?
No, an accommodation, no, that would be Ghislaine Maxwell and on the federal side. What I'm talking about is, yes, what I'm talking about is, okay, if you withdraw the motion, we'll provide it. We'll provide the samples at your expense. You want to test it, you go test it. That's happened to me before.
So where do you think this is going to go? I mean, what do you think the next step is? Because he just got a loss. I mean, a court said no to moving this forward, and now it's going to be appealed. Where do you think this is going now in the near future?
With all respect to the trial judge in this matter on this case, and the trial judge was not the judge who conducted the trial. Judge DeLucchi is long since passed away. Judge DeLucchi, by the way, the man that I knew, the man that I spent a year with every day, he would have granted this motion in a heartbeat. He never thought, ever thought that that this would have been the right way to have conducted post-conviction proceedings. He thought this case was going to be a hung jury, but remember, at the time he confided in me that the then Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court had told him, you better not let this thing end in a hung jury, hence an explanation for why he inexplicably removed jurors. Why do I think this is happening? Trial court judges in this case are elected, and that's an unfortunate circumstance. It's been the appellate judiciary that has stepped in and righted the wrongs in this case. A unanimous California Supreme Court, a court of appeals that ordered the hearings in the first place.
Well, there's always a lot of up and downs, and a lot of more recent up and downs with Scott Peterson, so we'll see what happens. Mark Geragos, always appreciate you taking the time to come on. Thank you, sir. Good seeing you.
Thank you, Jesse. Good to see you, too.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.